You won't believe what Pastor Kanyari just revealed about his kids.
Mimi nitakaa na Sky. Yani watu wameanza kugawana watoto wangu jameni.
And it is heartbreaking the internet. The controversial preacher caught on camera.
Wameanza kugawana watoto wangu. Mama hayuko, sasa mnataka kuninyang'anya watoto.
Tears streaming down his face, making a promise so emotional, so unexpected that even his critics are speechless.
Ambaye alinizalia watoto wawili, nitamuomboleza mpaka kufa kwangu. Watoto wangu Sky, Dani atamuomboleza mpaka kufa kwake.
This is not about miracles. This is not about money. This is about two children who just lost their mother and a father's vow that has Kenya holding its breath.
Mimi nashangaa kwa mitandao. Watu wanajitokeza, wanasema mimi nitakaa na Sky. Yani watu wameanza kugawana watoto wangu jameni.
What did he say? Who is trying to take his kids? And why is Betty Bayo's husband at the center of this storm?
Wameanza kugawana watoto wangu. Mama hayuko, sasa mnataka kuninyang'anya watoto. Nafurahi ni kwa maana Betty Bayo alifanya cooperating iwe very easy. Alikuwa ananipigia simu, ananiambia Kanyari kuja.
Stay with me because what happens next will shock you.
Hata mtoto akigonjeka ananiambia kuja, mtoto ni mgonjwa. Mtoto akienda hiyo shule alienda ambaye ni very expensive. Yeye ndiye alinipigia simu akaniambia wewe peleka mtoto shule nyingine.
2025, gospel singer Betty Bayo, the voice behind the powerful hit 11th Hour, took her final breath at Kenyatta National Hospital after battling leukemia. Now, here is where the story gets complicated because Betty and Kanyari's relationship was anything but simple. They had two beautiful children together, Sky, a vibrant teenage girl sitting for her final primary exams, and Danny, their energetic son.
Lakini siwezi acha watoto wangu ati kwa sababu mke wangu ameolewa.
But their marriage, it crumbled spectacularly under the weight of a scandal, public shame and broken trust.
No, siwezi kuacha Sky, I rather die. Siwezi kuacha Dani, I rather die kwa sababu ya watu. Siwezi kumwacha. I can't.
But that is not the shocking part. Wait until you hear what Kanyari said when the cameras caught him in the most vulnerable moment.
Hakuna siku nitaacha watoto wangu. Kazi ambayo nafanya, bidii ambayo ninaweka ni kwa ajili ya Sky na Dani. Hakuna siku nitawaacha.
The footage is raw, unfiltered and uncomfortable to watch. Within hours of Betty Bayo's death announcement, Pastor Kanyari took to Facebook. What he wrote has now been shared thousands of times, dissected by bloggers and praised by parenting experts, and yes, it even made some of his harshest critics pause and reconsider their judgments.
Natasha kuna mahali amenikosea, hata mahali pamoja. Tumeshirikiana naye katika mazishi. Mimi chenye tu ningetaka kusema, Tash, vile tulielewana na wewe, tulikuwa tunaelewana wakati mama alikuwa hai. Tuendeleshe hiyo. Tusije tukapigana hapa ama tuje tukosane. Mimi nimeheshimu kila kitu na nikiona kuna mahali navuka mipaka ninajiondoa. Na ningependa kusema social media tafadhali, wacheni huyo legend apumzike salama.
He posted a photo of Betty Bayo, radiant and beautiful, with the caption that read, "So sad, rest in peace Mama Sky, the mother to my kids." Simple words, but they carried the weight of a shared history, of two children left behind, of a co-parenting relationship that had transcended bitterness and scandal. But it was his follow-up post that truly captured hearts across Kenya. Siamini umeenda, mama ya watoto wangu, he wrote in Swahili, lakini na kuahidi, nitachunga watoto wetu vizuri kuliko hapo mbeleni. This is a man, by all accounts, had already been a present father. Sky and Danny regularly appeared in videos with him. He took them to church. He did Sky's hair, a task many fathers wouldn't even attempt. He welcomed them during Christmas with open arms, shared wholesome moments online, and yes, he financially supported them even when Betty Bayo was alive and married. Betty herself had admitted this publicly. She once said, and I am paraphrasing here, although he was not a good husband, Kanyari has been a good father, and like many men, he has never stalked me or made my life miserable just because we parted ways. That is the foundation and that is the baseline. And now, Kanyari is promising to do even more, to step up even further, to become the primary caregiver for Sky and Danny. But here is where the story gets really interesting, where it defies everything you might expect from a typical custody situation. Kanyari is not just trying to push Tash out, he's not limiting access, he's not playing power games or leaving his biological parenthood. In fact, he is doing the exact opposite, and it is absolutely remarkable. Let me take you back to September 2024, just months before Betty Bayo's tragic death. A video surfaced on the internet that had Kenyans absolutely captivated. It showed Pastor Kanyari, his daughter Sky, his son Danny, and Kanyari's personal assistant driving to Two Rivers Mall for a family fun day. Normal enough, right? But then came the twist. Sky, bold and articulate as always, turned to her father while they drove in his flashy Toyota V8 and said something that made him nearly swerve off the road. "Dad, you need to get married, and I think, baby, your PA would be perfect for you." Kanyari was shocked. "Why? Why baby?" he asked. "Because they usually say stepmothers are bad, but baby is good. Don't be the odd one out," Sky replied with the blunt honesty only a teenager can deliver. The conversation continued, with Sky and Danny asking their father questions that revealed their deepest fears. "If you get other kids, will you care about them more than us? Will you forget us? These are children who lived through divorce, who have watched their mother remarry, who have seen relationships change and shift. They need reassurance, and Kanyari gave it to them." But here is the part that went viral, the moment that showed just how mature this co-parenting relationship had become. The video revealed that Tash, Betty Bayo's husband, had dropped the kids off at a pickup point that day. The nanny wasn't available, so Tash stepped up, and for the first time ever, Pastor Kanyari and Tash met face to face. Kanyari said on camera, "For the first time we meet, I have never seen you face to face." The two men greeted each other warmly. They smiled. They interacted like two adults who understood that their relationship wasn't about ego or competition. It was about Sky and Danny. Sky later admitted that she had feared they might argue, might create tension, might force her to choose sides, but instead, they proved her wrong in the best way possible. They showed her that love for children can transcend past hurts, that maturity means putting their kids first, that being a man isn't about dominance, but about responsibility. Now, with Betty Bayo gone, the relationship between Kanyari and Tash has taken on an even greater significance, because here is what nobody is talking about, but what the evidence clearly shows. Kanyari isn't just allowing Tash to remain in their kid's life, he's encouraging it, he's respecting it, and he's acknowledging that Tash has been a good stepfather, a loving presence, and that Sky and Danny need that stability now more than ever. And think about what that means. Think about how rare that is. As news of Betty Bayo's death spread and videos of Kanyari's breakdown went viral, something unexpected happened on social media. The narrative started to shift. People who had spent years mocking Kanyari for the 310 shilling seed scandal, who had called him a fraud and a fake prophet, who had laughed at his downfall, they started posting messages of support. "Rest in peace, Betty Bayo. May God give the family strength," one comment read. "This is heartbreaking. Those poor kids," wrote another. "Say what you want about Kanyari, but he has always been there for his children. Always," a third person observed. But it was the comment about Tash that really heightened the complexity of the situation. "May God comfort Hiram. He was a great husband to Betty Bayo. He showed her real love," one person wrote. "And I hope Kanyari lets Tash continue being part of the kids' lives. They need both their dads right now," another pleaded. And here is where the misinformation started to creep into the narrative. Some bloggers looking for clicks and engagement began speculating widely. They suggested that Kanyari might try to take full custody, that he might restrict Tash access, that a custody battle was brewing, but there is no evidence of that, none whatsoever. In fact, all the evidence points in the opposite direction. Kanyari's action, his words, consistent behavior over the years all suggest a man who understands that Sky and Danny need multiple sources of love and support. Remember, these are children who are currently living one of the worst experiences of their young lives. Sky is sitting for her final examinations, one of the most stressful academic milestones in Kenya. Photos emerged from Kenyatta National Hospital showing Sky in her school uniform, being comforted by gospel artist Shiro GP, and the images were heartbreaking. You could see the devastation on her face, the loss and confusion that comes when you're 13 and 14 years old and you suddenly have to confront morality in the most personal ways possible. Danny, younger and perhaps less able to fully process what is happening, will need even more support in the months and years to come. These children need their father, they need their stepfather, they need their extended family, and they need their church community. They need everyone who loved their mother to show up and keep showing up. And from everything we have seen, Pastor Kanyari understood this. His promise wasn't about exclusion. It wasn't about control. It was about commitment, about stepping into the gap left by Betty Bayo's death and ensuring that Sky and Danny don't just survive this tragedy but thrive despite everything. If you have stayed with me this entire time, thank you. This is not an easy story to tell because it doesn't have a villain. It doesn't have a simple narrative. It doesn't fit neatly into boxes. Pastor Kanyari is neither hero nor villain. He's a complicated man. At least in the realm of fatherhood, he tried to do better. Whether that redeems his other actions is for each person to decide. Tash is a man thrust into an impossible situation, grieving his wife while trying to maintain his role in the lives of children who aren't legally his, but who he clearly loves. Betty Bayo is gone, but the legacy of the 11th hour of hope in God's timing, of perseverance through trials, that lives on, and so does her legacy of showing divorced parents that you can hate the marriage but still respect the co-parent. Sky and Danny are innocent in all of these. Two children who have had to grow up faster than they should have, who have had the cameras pointed at them during the most vulnerable moments, who now face a future without their mother. They need us, they need Kenya. Pastor Kanyari made a promise at Betty Bayo's deathbed, or at least in her memory: I will take care of our children even better than before. And that is a promise worth watching, worth supporting, and worth holding him accountable to. Not because he's perfect, not because his past is clean, but because Sky and Danny deserve a father who shows up, who tries, who puts them first no matter what. And if Tash continues to be part of their lives, if that September 2024 meeting between him and Kanyari becomes the foundation for a new kind of blended family arrangement, then maybe, just maybe, something beautiful can come out of this tragedy. If this story moved you, if Pastor Kanyari's promise resonated with you, or if you just want to send prayers and support to Sky and Danny during this impossible time, leave a comment below. Share this video with someone who needs to hear this message about co-parenting, about second chances, and about putting their children first.